Well, this is kind of appropriate. I want to get some stuff out of the drawer to hold the book open while I showed some stuff, and there was a trap. It's pretty appropriate because gun control is a trap. Now, things always happen in the United States that you think, well, it's just a coincidence that things happen, but it don't. Now, it started out okay. They started this National Firearms Act about short-barreled rifles and shotguns, machine guns, silencers, and so on and so forth. That was 1934. 1938 changed just a little bit, but this time they added the thing for felons. They couldn't ship or have receipt of a firearm to or by felons or fugitives from justice, so on and so forth. And we had the Gun Control Act of 1968. See this? Okay. Now how did that sneak in there? I mean, 30 years later, things are still okay, but then 1986 changed some things. Why? Well, President Kennedy was assassinated. Okay. And when somebody gets assassinated, there's always something behind something else. Kennedy got killed. Martin Luther King got killed. Robert Kennedy got killed. And they started ushering in these damn laws. But like I said, this 1968 law was lifted from the 1938 Nazi gun control law of Germany. Almost literally word for word. And this law, you couldn't have, they had to be at least 18 years old, and it absolutely prohibits the mere possession of a firearm by various classes of citizens who have been convicted of a felony, veterans who received a dishonorable discharge, mental incompetence, illegal aliens, persons who have renounced their citizenship, and use of illegal drugs, including marijuana. And I kid you not. But you read that while I cough a minute. Flu's going around. And you had the Firearm Protection Act of 1986, which did very little. Then you had the Undetectable Handgun Law of 1988. Made it illegal to possess a newly made handgun that cannot be easily detected by a metal detector. Then 1993. Well, we've got to remember back in 1986, President Reagan, Jim Brady, and some other ones got shot. Some idiot had a handgun and supposedly went bonkers, and next thing you know, they're trying to usher in more laws. Now, why would they have to usher in more laws when there's already enough firearm laws and other laws on the books to punish these people? If you're a good person, you're a good person. If you're a bad person, you're a bad person. People know good from bad, right from wrong. This was their 5-day waiting period thing. Okay. Then, 1994, you had the public safety thing where, for the Gun-Free Zone Act of 1991, okay. All right, then in 1996, they come out with the Domestic Violence Law. Okay? And it says basically that unacceptable risk. So your misdemeanor became a so-called felony, which is ex post facto and it's null and void. Anything that conflicts with the Constitution of the United States is null and void. They know that. So anyway, what do? They put a thing in here, and they're going to offer you protection. Order of protection. Okay? What this means? Nothing. It's a piece of paper to protect you. A piece of paper is not going to protect you. The Supreme Court said a long time ago that the police in your neighborhood or whatever, they have no obligation to protect you. That is not their job. That is your job. So if you have some domestic problems and you're worried about your safety, which is a bunch of hype anyway, go take out a gun course. Get a concealed carry permit. But don't expect this piece of paper to help you out. Okay, then after 96, when after that passed, then what happened? We had the Patriot Act. What was the Patriot Act? Well, okay. Patriot Act came about because somehow or another, and they still haven't found the culprit, there was all these anthrax letters sent to Congress leaders. It just reminded me when they burnt down the Reichstag in Germany. Same thing, scare tactics, scare them into doing something that normally they wouldn't do, but they passed this Patriot Act. And they had it all ready to go. But who had it ready to go? Who had these gun laws ready to go? The communists. They've got to take away the firearms. Make no mistake about it, this thing is a slow process, but they have the time and the patience to wait. And this goes on day after day after day after year. You've got to be on your toes. And the best thing to do, when you have anybody who's running for office, you get some background on these people. Find out where their mind is, where their agenda is, because you can't have people in an office of making laws and their hearts and minds are with the Communist Party and not with the American institution. If the Democrats were really Americans, they would be helping right now to make America greater. But they're not, are they? They're going the other way. And they've already put the scare into everybody. Like I said, usually something predates something, and it causes them to go into another frame of mind, so they'll pass laws that normally they wouldn't pass. They use scare tactics. Now, I knew when they started that thing about the Patriot Act, about the anthrax letters, it was all leading one way. They were scaring the hell out of the politicians so that they could get this damn Patriot bill passed. And it happened. They passed it. You've got to stay on your toes. Not only as an individual, but as a citizen of this country and as somebody who loves this country and wants to protect the Constitution. Now, if these Democrats were really worried about things, they would be protecting the Constitution instead of trying to rip it apart little by little by little by little. They can see where this is going, but like I said, they're not Americans, are they? Thanks for watching.